Hi, I'm Diane Marie Collins, and we are here at Wake Up America, and I have the great privilege to introduce to you, if you don't know him already, Dr. Ben Carson. Welcome, Doctor.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be here for this occasion.
Now, you're kind of soft-spoken, so I'm going to ask you to try and speak up a little because we don't have lavalier mics. We've got this instead. We each have some questions for you, and we're going to start with, go ahead, I loved your question. So we're going to start with Eric. Go.
Hi, I'm Erica Franzwe. I'm the host of Millennials Rock on Wake Up America Media Network. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I know that it's just kind of organized chaos right now, but it's such a blessing to have you here and to be a part of this event. Thank you.
Well, I'm just glad that the name of it sounds great. Wake Up America, because that's what I've been saying for a long time. We're kind of slumbering through very major changes in the infrastructure of this nation. And I'm talking about the philosophical, the political, the moral, every part of our infrastructure is changing. And most people are sleeping right through it, more interested in who's on Dancing with the Stars or who's playing in a football game, have no clue what's going on.
You're right, especially with my generation too, and I think especially being a millennial, my generation needs to wake up for sure. But my one question for you is, you're a very accomplished author and physician and entrepreneur. What would you have done differently in your life if you had to do it all over again?
Well, if I could do it all over again, I probably would have studied harder. Because I don't think you can ever have enough knowledge and enough education. And it's a lifelong pursuit. You're always gathering more. And the wonderful thing is, you really can't overload your brain. If you learned one new fact every second, it would take you more than 3 million years to begin to challenge the capacity of your brain.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Now, that is a fascinating piece of trivia. If you learned something new, it would take you how many years again?
3 million years. And since I don't know anybody who's even approaching that, you never have to worry about overloading your brain.
But sometimes we feel that way. My question, I have two, but the first one was, if you had the power tomorrow to change just one thing about America, what would that be?
If I could only change one thing, I would make us once again recognize that we are a Judeo-Christian nation and we do have real values and principles by which we live. And it's not just a free-for-all. Everybody makes their own rules. And you do whatever you want and everything is okay and there is no right and there is no wrong. That leads to chaos.
And I also wanted to talk about how you keep saying that we should stop being against each other. And that was one thing that my second question led up to. If you could somehow magically make that change, what do you think the difference in America would be?
Well, you know, our strength is our unity. You know, that's why our current book, One Nation, is called One Nation, which, despite all the attempts of the mainstream media to ignore it, is #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. But
Congratulations.
Thank you. But the fact of the matter is, we spend, or we allow the manipulators to spend a great deal of time manipulating us and making us hypersensitive and making us think about things that we don't need to be thinking about, so that we don't really have time to address the fundamental issues. And, you know, America is an exceptional nation. We rose to the pinnacle of the world in record time, much faster than anybody else, and we reached a much higher pinnacle. And it had to do with the can-do attitude that characterized us. We would say, I don't care what they did. This is America. You know, and now it's just the opposite. Say, well, what did they do? What did they do? Maybe that's what we ought to do, you know? And as a result, instead of being at this great peak that inspires everybody else, we're like devolving into something that we don't even recognize anymore.